Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Broku, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball video. In this video, I'm going to be going through and debunking a power scaling video created by the channel V&J Reviews that is quote-unquote Toriyama approved. Now, obviously, it is not Toriyama approved at all.
I'm
Akira Toriyama,
and I approve this message.
And I found a lot of inconsistencies in their chart, a lot of stuff that is outright wrong and doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It is very deceiving because if you don't do the math yourself and you just watch the video, it does look convincing, but it really is not even close to being true whatsoever. I'm going to go over his new chart only, as he did do an old one that was even more of a mess than the new one, but he decided to fix it with this one. Now guys, please do not go hate on this dude. I'm just trying to give you guys an opinion on why his power chart is actually quite wrong, but don't go and hate him for it. You can dislike it. If you dislike his video, that's your choice, but don't go attack him, say he's a terrible person, say he needs to kill himself and stuff like that. That's not okay. It's okay to disagree with people, and then at the end of the day, everybody's still good with each other. But it does really annoy me that he says Toriyama approved when it is not Toriyama approved at all. It's clickbait. And on the first video, he even has Toriyama doing a thumbs up, says Toriyama approved on it. That is complete bullshit. And throughout his entire video, he is saying that this is a perfect chart. He's seen nothing better. But it's nowhere close to perfect. It's not even close at all. But I'm going to get into that video, guys. It's going to be probably a longer debunk video, I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm going to talk about what he says and show some clips of his videos. This is all fair use, so if you try and take my video down, you're going to end up losing in court. Look at the precedent for H3H3 Productions. But anyways, I don't think you would take my video down through fair, I don't think you'd do it, but just putting it out there. But anyways, let's get into his video. So guys, I thought it'd be important to say why it is important for me to do a debunk on this video, and that is because, well, this first video had over 200,000 views, and now his second video has over 100,000 views, and it's getting like several thousand views a day. So it's going to be blowing up, and it's going to get a lot of people confused because this is not an accurate scale. And from what I've seen, it's got over a 10-to-1 like to dislike ratio, so it seems most people are believing it, which is not something that should be happening. And the fact that he is clickbaiting, even though that is not something that somebody should be doing to grow on YouTube. There's a lot of other YouTubers out there that are smaller, and they're not clickbaiting, and they are grinding. Well, this guy is clickbaiting, and he's trying to do a shortcut, essentially.
and why this is the best Dragon Ball Super power scaling chart out there. You're going to want to stick through the whole entire thing. Basically, Goku in his God form Red is a 6, and Beerus would be a 10, and Whis would be considered a 15. And now that those numbers have been largely dismissed for many reasons, but we don't think they need to be dismissed. We actually think that Toriyama had something to those numbers, and those numbers work when you scale them correctly. The first thing we need to address is the fact that Toriyama's 6, 10, and 15 numbers are not a linear scale. We are going to use these numbers exactly the way that they should and must be used. Also, many people have addressed the fact that Toriyama never even thought about Dragon Ball Super at this point, so of course he didn't even mention those things before. Now, I have a couple things to say about that. First off, as an animator and as a writer-creator who makes these manga stories, especially the Dragon Ball universe, of course he was thinking about future things going on. It never became solidified until later on.
So you believe that Toriyama had something to do with those numbers. You believe it. You believe it. You're starting this and basing your list off a power scale that has already been dismissed as not canon as the story anymore. This chart, or this little power scale of 10, 6, and 15, was created for the Battle of the Gods movie, not for the show Dragon Ball Super, which Dragon Ball Super was created 2.5 years after Battle of the Gods. And this is an important thing because Battle of the Gods is a movie. There's not supposed to be stuff happening after it. So Goku getting close to Beerus in power makes sense because it's just the movie. But in Super, he's not supposed to get close because there's going to be still a lot of stuff happening after the Battle of the Gods.
But also, the example I just used, you don't even need Dragon Ball Super for the example I used because that example works for Battle of the Gods itself anyway. If he just used Kaioken times 2, he could have still done that in Battle of the Gods. That's why I use this example to show that the multiplier doesn't even work for Battle of the Gods. So even if you want to go with the argument that that Toriyama never knew that Super was going to occur, it doesn't matter. The linear chart, the linear idea doesn't work in Battle of the Gods anyway.
So now he makes a big claim that Goku can use Kaioken in the Battle of the Gods movie against Beerus, which breaks Toriyama's own scale. But that's a huge claim that is not backed by any evidence whatsoever. We have only seen Goku use Kaioken with the blue form, and it took him years to be able to do it. Not only did several years pass between Battle of the Gods and the Universe 6 tournament in Super, but Goku and Vegeta also spent 3 years in the Time Chamber. So no, Goku could not have gone Kaioken in the Battle of the Gods movie and break Toriyama's scale. No, the chart does work, as Beerus at a 10 used 70% of his power, which made him a 7, and enough to defeat Super Saiyan God Goku, who was a 6. The scale makes perfect sense in terms of the Battle of the Gods movie. The scale perfectly works perfectly in the Battle of the Gods movie. It doesn't work compared to Super, yes, but it works perfectly in the movie.
The power level numbers, but that doesn't work either. Take a look at this. If you use that exponential power scaling, which a lot of people like, this is the power level differences between Goku, Beerus, and Whis. Now, some people look at this chart and they don't have a problem with it. You can see how ridiculous Whis is in comparison to Beerus, and Goku is barely noticeable on this chart. But where the big problem comes into play is when you look at the difference between Goku in God form Red and Beerus. Look at that difference when you use exponential scaling. It makes no sense. The whole fight between Goku in his God form Red and Beerus makes zero sense in the Battle of the Gods arc because they were kind of going at it. They were going back and forth. There was rips in the universe going on. Even stated that Beerus had to go to 70% power. If Beerus goes to 70% power, look at where he is. He's at 7 billion compared to Goku at 60 million. It makes no sense. Beerus could go 1% power and still handedly beat Goku. So that 70% number makes no sense with the exponential power scale, and it makes no sense with the crazy power level numbers that people give to these characters.
So you bring up how using a scale up to the 10 power wouldn't work, but the huge gap between God Goku and Beerus, that actually makes sense, as not only does Goku get stronger through training and Zenkai boost over the series, but he unlocks new forms too, so your claim is partially wrong.
Problem for you. So if not a linear scale, what kind of scale are you going to use? We decided to use a real world power scaling as shown in inverse cube scales.
And you are claiming that Dragon Ball Super is different as if it is a fact. Toriyama didn't say that this was a cube scale. He said it was a scale. He didn't say anything except it was a scale. And it's likely a linear scale, especially even say that in the past it has always been a linear scale. You are again making your entire argument based off an old claim for Battle of the Gods, the movie.
We've been watching the fights, we've been watching the battles. This is working. These numbers match up. These numbers make sense. The 2-scale method is working perfectly. If you see that happening, then you decide, is this the best thing you've seen when it comes to power scaling in Dragon Ball Super? We have seen nothing close to it. We like this 2-chart method, and if anyone out there knows Toriyama and wants to drop them our channel line, go ahead and let them know, because this is the solution to all of the problems he's had with his fans previously.
And I just want to keep saying, guys, this guy can just keep saying that his scale works perfectly, and it's kind of cringeworthy. I mean, yes, be proud of your work, but not like this. We're saying, oh, it's perfect. Oh, this is the best one I've ever seen. Blah, 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 blah. It gets annoying and it gets really old. He says it a lot in this video.
This is Toriyama's original linear scale, and now we need to convert this power level scale using the real world scaling shown through inverse cube scales. When you convert it, this is what the scale looks like. Goku as a 6, his power level is cubed. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Beerus as a 10 is cubed to 1,000, and Whis is cubed to 3,375. Multipliers are going to be added to the linear scale, the 6 number that Goku has. The linear scale was always where multipliers were added. We cannot add the multipliers to the new scale. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. So right off the bat, we're going to give Goku an immediate power boost because we know that Goku absorbed the power of the God form red God Ki into his base form, which now means when Goku goes into his red form, he gets a 2 times multiplier because he absorbed the Ki into his base form.
Okay, so now your power chart has lost a lot of credibility, as basically your first 3 steps are false. 1 is that the Battle of the Gods scale is not relevant to Dragon Ball Super. Number 2 is that Toriyama just stated scale and not a cube scale. And then 3, Goku when he goes Super Saiyan God is only twice as Battle of the Gods Super Saiyan God. So your first 3 bases on this entire chart, your first 3 premises are all false. Everything that the scale is built upon is all false, meaning that nothing after this can be accurate because the first 3 things are complete false. So it's not a good chart based on this, but even though I could just stop right here and say that the chart's not accurate, I'm going to keep going. So he says that Super Saiyan God Goku during Super Now is only twice as strong as Battle of the Gods Goku as a Super Saiyan God, which is complete. It's not true. So following his logic of his math, Goku as a Super Saiyan God is weaker than when he goes Super Saiyan. What I mean by this is that Goku's base is stronger than Super Saiyan God during the Battle of the Gods. And we know this because he absorbed the power, he trained a lot, and when he fought Beerus again while wearing the Monaka suit, Beerus fought harder, and yet Goku fought him up to par in his base form. This is a massive, massive error, and since his first 3 premises to his argument of this power scale are not true, basically the rest of this won't be true.
So it's almost like a God form red plus God form red multiplier, but you can't apply the multiplier to the new chart, you have to apply it to the linear scale. So that's 6 times 2, that equals 12. You add that multiplier to the new chart, and you get Goku now moved up to a 228 in his red form after mastering the God Ki in his base form.
So he went from Goku as a Super Saiyan God, he made it so a 6 times 2 is 12, when what it should have been is 6 times thousands, because that's what the actual multiplier is, which would completely break his scale from the outright beginning. But he had to go through and make sure that Super Saiyan God was only a 2 times multiplier, so that his scale worked. He was fudging the numbers just so his scale worked. So essentially what he is doing is taking their number on the linear scale, doing the multipliers on this, and then adding that to the equation. And honestly, it doesn't really make sense to do it this way. I've taken a couple college level math classes in college so far, but I'm no means a genius. But I talked to somebody who's gonna try and become a math teacher, and I was talking to them about the scale you used, and how you went and used the linear numbers to add to the equation, when you should be taking the 216 number and multiplying that by the multiplier. Like, if you took the Richter scale, which is a somewhat good comparison, where earthquake scale, from 1 to 2, that's a 1.0 earthquake to a 2.0 earthquake. A 2.0 earthquake is 32 times stronger than a 1.0 earthquake. If you took a 1.0 earthquake and say it did like 1500 force or whatever, I don't know all the accurate term for it, and then multiplied that by 3, you wouldn't take 1 times that by 3 and then add the 3 to the 1500 to make it 1503. No, you'd multiply the 1500 times 3 to make it 4500 in terms of force, so how much force it commits or whatever. So what you should be doing is taking the 216 and multiplying that by 2 and not taking the 6. Doesn't really make sense to do it that way. But again, it's sort of like fudging the numbers.
528, and now we can accurately, for the very first time, we did this before, but now this is the new updated, most accurate number, put Goku in his blue form on this scale. Now that brings us to Goku going Kaioken times 20 in his blue form. To prove that to be the case. To prove that to be the case. To prove that to be the case by using these 2 scales, and they work perfectly together. So now with Goku at an 8, we can apply the Kaioken times 20 boost. So 8 times 20 is 160, 528 plus 160 is 688. You can see where Goku Kaioken times 20 in the blue.
So he gets that Super Saiyan God Goku is a 216, and that Super Saiyan Blue Goku is a 528. And that Kaioken times 20 Blue Goku is a 688. Since Beerus is a 10 cubed, he is at a 1000. He then goes and makes another bad point, stating that when Goku trains, he does not get a lot stronger. It is mainly technical skills like techniques, fighting style that he improves on, or better being able to fight the same opponents again, and learning new things. And we know this is not true. Power is not the smallest part of what Goku gets. It's one of the main things. Of course, this guy is right saying that Goku gets other things besides power, but power is one of the main things. Goku has always been getting a lot stronger over the course of the show due to power. Like how power alone, his base form is even stronger than Super Saiyan God Goku during the Battle of the Gods. And he mentions Hit versus Goku as an example, saying that Goku, through techniques and improvement and some other factors, was able to defeat Hit without Kaioken. But he said that it wasn't because of power that Goku could do it. But that's not true, because Hit got a lot stronger himself since the Universe 6 tournament, and we know that in Dragon Ball, no matter how good of a martial artist you are, you still need strength as part of your repertoire to defeat a strong fighter. Like Krillin, he's an amazing good technical fighter, amazing techniques, but he's weak. He can't defeat a really, really strong guy. So Goku would have to have gotten a lot stronger as well. Not barely, like he states.
Now, we're going to show you where God Form Blue Vegito would fall on the scale. So, if they're going to do a fusion, we know the best, most accurate information possible is the information we were given by the Angel of Universe 6, Vados, who told us that the fusion boost is greater than the sum of the parts, multiplied tens of times. We need to do the multiplier to the linear scale. So you have both of them at 8 on the scale. You're going to add 8 and 8 and get 16. It's greater than the sum of the parts, which is 17. We're not going to go into the tens of times because that gets a little speculative and stuff, but we're going to give them a 10 times multiplier. That's 17 times 10. That's 170 power boost that they would get from the linear scale. Of course, you need to add their two numbers together on the universal scale. That's 528 plus 528 plus the power boost they get stated from Vados on the linear scale. You got to give them the power boost. That's plus 170. And you see them fall right here on the scale at 1226.
Here is another huge mistake that he commits. He is stating that essentially Blue Vegito is only a bit more than 20 times stronger than originally. But this is absolutely false. When Vados said Kefla was tens of times stronger, what she really said was several sets of 10 times stronger, which likely means hundreds. But what needs to be remembered as well is that she said this when Kefla was in her base form, meaning she was stating this about Kefla's base being this strong. And then Kefla powered up even further into her base form after this. And we do know that base Vegito is several times stronger than Blue Goku or Blue Vegeta. As Zamasu saw Goku Blue and Vegeta Blue as fodder, but was impressed with the power of Vegito in his base form. And we know that Super Saiyan Blue is a huge multiplier on top of base, meaning Super Saiyan Blue Vegito would be far, far stronger than whatever you put him as on this list. And even then, Blue Vegito at a 1226 isn't slightly stronger than Beerus like Supreme Kai was stating. If we follow your own math, to get from a 10 to a 10.7, which is roughly what Blue Vegito is, you would have to increase by 226 points. In context, this is roughly the same gap in power, so take the 10, times that by 22.6, and you get 226 or 1226. So Blue Vegito in your chart is 22.6 times stronger than Beerus, which is absolute crap. There's no evidence to suggest this, only that Supreme Kai thought his power rivaled Beerus. Being 22.6 times stronger is in no case rivaling his power, and in context, this is roughly the same gap in power of First Form Frieza and Vegeta when he lands on Namek. That's a huge gap. Really? Is Blue Vegito that much stronger? Also in the scale, Blue Vegito is only around 87 times stronger due to his own power chart. I'll show you the math. Yet, it's confirmed in the guides that he should be at least 400 times stronger, since base Vegito is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, meaning all of Vegito's forms would have to be at least 400 times stronger than whatever Goku was. Yet, Blue Vegito is only 87 times stronger than Blue Goku or Blue Vegeta? Nope. Again, debunked, that cannot be possible.
I want to reiterate that these numbers you see, 1000, 1226, those aren't power level numbers, okay? This is a totally new and different chart. It's just used for power scaling. This also fits in the manga, and I know there's differences between the anime and the manga, but in the manga, we do see that the Supreme Kai of Universe 7 says that it looks like Vegito's power actually supersedes that of Master Beerus. And on our chart, wouldn't you know it, when you put the numbers together, you get fused form God form Blue Vegito at more powerful than Beerus, and we know that that confirms a lot of Dragon Ball Super fans about their belief that Vegito in the blue form is stronger than in Beerus. Now, what about Jiren? We believe Jiren is closer to the power levels of the gods rather than the angels, and so rather than giving him a 10 on the scale where Beerus fits, we use a little bit of headcanon and we give him an 11 on the scale. Not a crazy increase, but a slight increase over the power of the gods. Not a crazy increase, but a slight increase over the power of the gods. Not a crazy increase, but a slight increase over the power of the gods. Not a crazy increase, but a slight increase over the power of the gods.
And so, according to your scale, Jiren is an 11, and Beerus is a 10. To get from a 10 to an 11, according to the math on your scale, you would need to take the 10, multiply that by 33.1, and then you would get 331 to add on to the 1,000, equaling 1,331 to get from 10 to 11. So really, Jiren is 33 times stronger than Beerus. Jiren's power is said to rival and surpass the gods. But Jiren being 33 times stronger, that wouldn't be a rival at all. It would be a slaughter. In order for it to be a rival, it would have to be close. And there is no evidence whatsoever that Jiren is 33 times stronger than Beerus. And if you just look at his numbers, it's misleading because he says that they're close just because on the chart they're close together. And if you do the math quickly in your head, it looks like Jiren at a 1300 versus Goku at a 1200, that's a really close gap. But that's if you think about it linearly. If you think about it in the cube scale like he's saying, it doesn't make sense. Because if you do the math, to get from 1242, which is what Ultra Instinct Goku is, to 1331, Goku would need to get 8 times stronger to be equal to Jiren. So he is saying that Jiren is over 8 times stronger than Ultra Instinct Goku. So he's saying that suppressed Jiren is 8 times stronger than Ultra Instinct Goku. If you watch the episode, that is not at all what the fight looked like. It was a close fight. There is no way that Jiren was 8 times stronger. It is not hard to make a scale, guys, and then fudge the numbers just so that it lines up. And make it look like it lines up, even though it's not even lining up at all. And honestly, on a linear scale, Jiren being a 1,331 and Beerus being a 1,000 wouldn't be that far off. But in this inverse cube scale that you call it, there is no credible evidence behind him being this strong.
And once again, the numbers work perfectly. And once again, the numbers work perfectly. And once again, the numbers work perfectly. It's like the pieces are perfectly aligning where we would believe they should go. Now that it looks like possibly in the future, Goku and Vegeta might fuse together, especially if Vegeta can learn the Ultra Instinct form, which is possible. He may fuse together with Goku only in the blue form. He may use Ultra Instinct. They may not fuse together at all. We don't know. But we wanted to have a little bit of fun with this. So we decided, what would it look like if Goku and Ultra Instinct fused with Vegeta in Ultra Instinct? Where would they fall using all of the multipliers and this 2-chart system here? So when you put the two of them together, you can see they're 10.75 on our chart. Greater than the sum of the parts is 22. You use Vados' system, 22 times 10, that gives you a 220 power boost. 1242 plus 1242 on the universal scale, plus the 220 power boost from the linear scale gives you a value of 2704. Check out where fused form Goku and Vegeta together fused in the Ultra Instinct form would fall on this chart. They are insanely powerful. Now, one of the reasons we put those arrows on Jiren is we feel like maybe this might have to happen in order for Jiren to be handedly defeated. We don't know, but we will see. Check it out. I mean, he's reaching close to Whis levels. Now,
okay, so you say he's You say he's reaching close to Whis levels. You say he is. But it seems you are forgetting how to read your own scale, as he isn't reaching anywhere near close to Whis levels. On a linear scale, yes, he would be close. But it seems you are misunderstanding your own chart. There's a 671 difference between the two. Since Ultra Instinct Vegito is a 14, you would have to take 671, that's the difference, divide that by 14, and you will see that Whis is still nearly 50 times stronger than Ultra Instinct Vegito. That's not even close. It's nowhere close. 50 times. If Whis is 50 times stronger, that's not close. You're making this linear scale. Okay? You sound good when you're saying these numbers. It sounds good. But when you do the own math, it doesn't make sense. And with the way you are portraying, it looks like that Jiren is slightly stronger than Ultra Instinct Goku, when he's not. He's way stronger according to your scale. And when you say that Ultra Instinct Vegito is catching up to Whis, it's close. It's not. Whis being 50 times stronger is not close at all.
Using a chart that works. And so we're going to end it with this right here. There is some headcanon towards the end of this because we wanted to have fun with it. But a lot of this chart here is the best scaling you will ever see when it comes to Dragon Ball Super. It's the most accurate power scaling chart that we have ever put together, we have ever seen. You need to share this one with your friends. Guys, we did an episode on the power scaling charts before, but we have refined our numbers. We have added new fighters. We have made the chart even better here and more accurate. This is the chart you want to put on your desktop. This is the chart you want to save. This is the chart you want to remember, because this is the scaling, this is the power scaling chart that is more accurate than anything else we've ever seen out there, because we have designed this 2-scale system, and when we put the numbers in, it works amazingly.
So no, your chart does not work, and it is absolutely not the best power scaling chart out there. No, not at all. It is clickbait. It is wrong. There is no debate. It's not an argument.
Not an argument. It's not an argument. It's not an argument.
Okay, that was more of a joke. This can be an argument, but this is not right. I have gone through Debunked this. His chart can literally not be right. So something I just wanted to go through again and to prove again that this chart is false. So if you give an actual accurate representation of Goku's power at the beginning of the chart, you'll see how bonkers this list really is. So, say Goku is a 6, and as a Super Saiyan God during the Battle of the Gods, and which is a 216 on the scale. Well, he stated that Super Saiyan Blue is a times 50, and if he did do Kaioken times 20, then going from Super Saiyan God to Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 is a 1000 times multiplier. So follow this math. Goku is a 6, so you take the linear scale, times that by 1000 for the multiplier, and you get 6,000. Add that to 216. So, you get Super Saiyan Blue, Kaioken times 20 Goku, being a 6,216. Or now, by far the strongest, and at least hundreds of times stronger than Whis. If you split up the multiplications for the multipliers of the forms, you get a list that looks more accurate. But that's not how they work. You combine it as one. That's how it should work. Even if you split up the multipliers, but you take the more realistic route on this, of how strong Goku really is, it still doesn't work. But it is a fact that Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Kaioken times 20, would have to be around 1000 times multiplier. And you have to follow the logic. So now let's actually split up the multipliers using a more accurate representation of Goku to still see that the chart will not hold up and does not work. And if you use a more accurate version of Goku, it just blows this chart away, makes it completely debunked. So if Super Saiyan God Goku is a 6, then base Goku is at least a 6 in Dragon Ball Super as well. This is because of him fighting Beerus while he was wearing the Monaka suit, and putting up a better fight than Super Saiyan God Goku. And at least bare minimum, Super Saiyan Goku during Battle of the Gods, after infusing the form, was stronger than the original God form. Meaning after all the time he spent training, and all the Zenkai boosts, he is very likely much stronger than the actual Super Saiyan God form. But we can just keep him as a low ball, as a 6, or a 216 for his base. So take the 6, multiply by 50, you get 300. Add that to 216, and you get 528. This makes Goku an 8 on the scale. So Super Saiyan 2 would have to be a 2 times 8, or equal in 16, making it a 544. And then you would still be an 8, and times that by 4, and you get 572. At this point, he would roughly be an 8.3 on the scale. So now it's time for the Super Saiyan God multiplier. So I just recently did a video on this where I suggested that Super Saiyan God is potentially a 200 times multiplier on top of Super Saiyan 3. So I can put a link in the description to go watch that video to explain that, because I don't want to have to explain that over again as why that multiplier is that. But I'm going to even lowball that even further and say that Super Saiyan God is a 100 times multiplier on top of Super Saiyan 3. So 8.3 times 100 equals 830. Add that to that, now we get 1402. And now you get regular Super Saiyan God Goku being much stronger than Jiren. Let's add Super Saiyan Blue. So Goku's now an 11 at this point, times that by 50, and then you get 550. So Goku is now a 1952. So Goku is now a 12.5 on the scale. Let's do Kaioken times 20. So you take 12.5, times that by 20, you get 250, add that to the original sum, and you get Super Saiyan Blue, Kaioken times 20 Goku being a 2202 on this scale, or even higher than a 13 on the scale. Despite him supposed to being much weaker than Beerus, he is now over 100 times stronger than him. He's even now way stronger than what Jiren was, way stronger than what all these fighters are on this list. And I could go in depth on Vegito and saying how you got his fusion multipliers wrong, but I don't need to go in depth onto that. It's just wrong, and Vegito would poop on this scale. And how strong would Goku be on the scale if you did the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 from just one multiplication instead of breaking all the multipliers up into multiple different calculations? So Super Saiyan 3 is a 400, Super Saiyan God Low Ball is a 100, so you get 40,000. From here you do Blue, which is a 50, to get 2 million. And then times that by 20 for Kaioken, and you get 40 million. Now, Goku is a 6, so multiply 6 by 40 million, and you get 240 million to 216. So Goku is a 240 million on the scale now. Now Goku is a fucking god. He is stronger than Zeno fusing with Zeno. No, this list just does not work. Like, you seem like a good guy, you make some good content, but this list pisses me off because you say it's Toriyama approved, even though it is literally easily to debunk it as long as you do a little bit of math, and it's easy to make. I could go and easily spend 5-6 hours, make up a chart, find some inverse cube scale, and make it fit. But you say it fits, but it doesn't. Like I said before, you say Jiren is over 30 times stronger than Beerus. Then you say Ultra Instinct Goku is 8 times weaker than Jiren. Makes no sense whatsoever. Then you say that Ultra Instinct Vegito is getting close to Whis in power, even though Whis would still be 50 times stronger than him at that point, according to your list. No, this doesn't work. There's so many ways to show that it doesn't work. I went through this whole video. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Stop sharing this video if you have. I mean, it's wrong. I'm just going to leave it there. It's wrong. But comment down below what you think. Maybe you agree with him. Tell me why you agree with him, why you think he's right. If I'm wrong completely, tell me, and I'll see why I'm wrong. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do leave a like and subscribe. Turn on notifications if you want to see more of my videos, and join my Discord. That would be much appreciated. Also, thanks to all my Patreon supporters, Daraj Payton, the awesome guy only supports Broku on Patreon, and Zach Otaku. And thanks to all my Super Saiyan 2s, Israel Flores, Mystic Ghoul, Darius, Badass Thug, Griffin Jacob, Dutch Gamer Monkey, Sin Overlord, Connor Trigg, Locke, and Gerald Herbert. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It really does mean a lot. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Peace out.